Hello, this is Martha with the Academic Support Center once again. This video is continuing our final review for Pre-Calculus 1, and let's hope we can get through problems 8 through 12. All right, here we go. So let's look at problem 8. We're given an equation, and we find the following, f of -2. And remember, whatever is in here, we just put in for our variable, whatever's in those parentheses. So let's give that a try. So 9 times -2 squared plus 1. And that we just follow the order of operations. We take care of the exponent first. -2 squared is 4. So 9 times 4 plus 1. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 1 equals 37. Now for B, we're given the x is x minus 2. That's what we put in our variable. So let's do this. We've got 9x minus 2 quantity squared plus 1. Now with the order of operations, the first thing that we have to do is the exponent. So we're going to write 9 and x minus 2 times x minus 2. We can't distribute that squared through. So then we FOIL x times x is x squared. X times -2 is -2x. -2 times x is -2x, and -2 times -2 gives us +4. Let's keep our parentheses nice and clean. And the next step that we're going to do is we're going to clean up inside the parentheses. We've got common terms that we can combine. So we have 9 times the quantity x squared. -2x minus 2x gives us -4x. Ooh, keep wanting in that parentheses, plus 4 plus 1. The next thing that we do is we distribute this 9 to each term throughout, and we're going to move up here. So we're going to have 9x squared. 9 times -4 is -36x, and 9 times 4 is going to be +36, and then we still have that plus 1. We're almost done. We just combine the two like terms that we have, the 36 and the 1, yielding a final answer of 9x squared minus 36x plus 37. And that's our answer. And now for 9, we're going to work to the side a little bit. We need to find the domain of the function that they've given us. Our domain are our x values. So we want to know all of our possible x values. And we can have negative, positive x values, we can have fractions, but what we cannot have is a 0 in the denominator. So we break it down and see, okay, when is this going to be equal to 0? And we've got x squared minus 3x plus 2. So we ask ourselves, what multiplies to +2 but adds to -3? And that gives us x minus 1 times x minus 2. -1 times -2 gives a +2, but if we FOIL this out, we're going to have -3x. So that's where we get our terms. We set each of these to 0. So x, set them equal to 0, sorry. So x minus 1 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0. We add 1 to each side. For this, we get that x equals 1. And when we add 2 to the second equation, each side, we get x equals 2. So those are our values that cannot exist. So let's put those on a number line. Let's just say this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. Now, for the x values, we read from left to right. So from -infinity, we can come in and without a problem, any of these until we get to 1. So we can do -infinity, comma 1, but 1 cannot be included, so that doesn't work. Now the next section that we've got is 1, anything above 1 and anything below 2. So that gives us 1, comma 2. And then after 2, we can still have anything after 2 to +infinity. That works. And because we have these jumps, in our number line, we use the symbol union to say that there's this and then there's break, this section works and that section works. So this, our find the domain of the function, it's negative infinity to 1, union 1, comma 2, union 2 to infinity. All right, now we're gonna take a look at the range. And the range are our y values. And the range we read from bottom up, or from negative infinity to positive infinity, seeing how it goes. So if we look down here, there's not a value for -3, that doesn't work. Until we get to -2, there is a point there. So from -2 up to, keep going up, 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 we have possible real y values. So let's do -2, and it looks like it's included, so we're going to use the bracket to positive infinity. And that's our range or our possible y values. All right, scooting right along, we've got number 11. We're given a piecewise function, and a piecewise function is just a function that behaves a little differently at each point. So we've got 2x plus 1, and that is when x is less than -1. If we have -1.5, if we have -2, anything below -1, we're going to use this top function. But we use the bottom function when x is greater than or equal to -1. And then we look at the parameters and say, okay, what do we have? So when f is -1, we've got this or equals 2. So we know that we use that second equation. So we put x in our equation, that -1, in for x, -1 squared plus 2. -1 times -1 is +1 plus 2. That gives us 3 for A. Now let's look at 0. 0 is also greater than -1. So again, we use the second equation. So 0 squared plus 2 is going to be 2. 0 times 0 is 0, and we add 2 to it. That gives us 2. Now we're going to find f of 2. F of 2 is also greater than -1, so that's why we use the second equation. So we put 2 in for x, we get 2 squared plus 2. Order of operations, 2 times 2 is 4, and then plus 2 equals 6. Now for question 12, it asks us, when given the graph of a function, determine the intervals where x is increasing and decreasing. And because they say intervals, they probably want us to do interval notation. And remember, when a function is increasing, as our x's go up, our y's go up. So as we read from left to right, that's our x's increasing. So as we read from left to right, so from negative infinity, right, all the way, we've got y values that are going up, 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 until they get to this -1 point. And then they start going down. Well, at +1, they start to go up again. So our intervals for increasing are going to be negative infinity, and the infinity gets the parentheses, comma, -1. And then because we've got a jump, we use union, and then 1 to positive infinity. Now we're going to look at where they're decreasing. So with decreasing, our x's are going up, but our y's are going down. So if we look here, we've got a downward slope, we're decreasing. As our x is increase, our y is decrease. So from -1 to 1 is our interval where our function is decreasing. All right, I hope that helps. Talk to you soon. Have fun.